Good morning, Homestead neighbor. I am Jeff the Homestead Dad, and welcome to the Homestead. You guys, I don't know if you can tell, this was not cleared before. We got probably 2 inches of snow last night, and we're supposed to get 5 to 8 inches tomorrow. So I don't know if I'll get out this afternoon and plow this just so we've got a clean slate to start from, but Cowboy came out earlier and just kind of did a path to the cars. I'm going to brush off the cars so that when we go to church it's not all snowy and kids aren't getting all snowy. I just missed it. The garage in a box right there, the wind is starting to pick up, and all of the snow on the roof, you can just see there's just a little bit left, just went ka-choo, 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 and fell off. Oh, no, not enough wind. Anyway, I'm going to brush off the cars, head out and milk. It's, I don't know, 10 degrees here today. Not bad. We'll deal with it. It's, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, -4 for a high. That's gonna be chilly. Well guys, it's 12 degrees out. I checked the temp, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear me because the wind, I don't have my hand over there. And the wind chill is 3 degrees. So, yeah, it's cold. I don't know. It's one of those things where I saw somebody post on Facebook the other day, you know, the temperature in Michigan and then the temperature in Anchorage, Alaska. And it was colder in Michigan, but I think that has to do with Anchorage is on the whatever. Anyway, let's see if the hydrant works. All right. It's been freezing up a little bit lately, so I'm glad that's working. Well, if I'm thinking straight when I do these chores, I leave these buckets on their side so they don't get filled up with snow or buried and I can't find them. And you guys probably can't tell from here, but the water trough, we've been trying to keep it full because we're having a problem keeping the chicken water from popping the circuit. So a lot of times the chickens will go use the cow water. So we just make sure that we keep that topped off as much as possible. And then if it's topped off and the hydrant freezes for a minute, it's not a big deal. We can come out and fill it back up in the morning or whatever. I have a feeling we're gonna probably have to use a torch on this. I think I've showed you guys. I have a heat tape on this. See the black heat tape? Works really well. The problem is the plug end is buried in ice down there. Oops. And I don't want to chip it out and wreck the cord that way. And I tried using a torch to melt it, but it was starting to singe the cord. So I'm supposed to like heat up some water, but then it's just gonna freeze. Anyway, we'll just use the torch. I put the torch on this part and kind of heat up here, and it freezes up. I think it's just freezing up a little bit in here. So with a minute or two of torch, it works. It's just a pain. I should have done it the other way. Remind me in the summer to change that, okay? Okay, I gotta go milk the cow. So for you new subscribers, this is my milk cow Prudence, and this is my mini bull, Little Red. She's a good cow. She's my first milking cow. Not my first cow, but my first milking cow. And right after, well, she had a stillborn calf this last winter, over a year ago. She was giving me 5 gallons of milk a day. Pretty good stuff. Well, you guys can see the sun right over the top of my head. It was downright toasty in here today. Yesterday at a negative 11 degrees when I milked versus today at 12 degrees and the sun out, I was downright toasty. It was really nice in here. I'm not looking forward to that negative 20 degree stuff in the morning when I milk. That's not going to be so much fun. We just had dinner at my in-laws, but before we did that, their snowblower wouldn't start. They got this Remington snowblower from Menards, and they put stable in the gas, but the carb was still gummed up. So I didn't bring anything. I had my church clothes on, so I just put on some rubber dish gloves, took off the carb, and then they don't have an air compressor blower, so I took a bike pump. I don't know where the bike pump went to, but I just used that and shoved it really hard to try to blow out any gunk in the carburetor in like the jet area, and I was able to get it started. So I'm gonna try to make sure I can get it started again so that they'll be able to use it, because we're supposed to get a bunch of snow tomorrow. Okay, I showed you the snowblower working, but a lot of times with machines like this, it's the carburetor gets gummed up. If there's nothing else wrong, you haven't run it for a long time, that would be the first place I'd check. I am not an expert mechanic by any stretch of the imagination. I worked in a mechanic shop for small machines like this for one winter, and a lot of what I did was cleaning carburetors. So I just want to show you, in case you ever have to do this, or in case in the spring, you're driving around and you see a lawnmower that looks pretty new, but it's sitting out on the road because someone's throwing it away. Grab it, clean out the carburetor, and then try to start it. The odds are you'll have an almost new lawnmower for free. So this right here, I believe it's called the carb bowl right here. So what happens is gas goes from the tank down into the carb bowl, and then it gets injected from that into the motor, I believe. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic, but what happens is gas gets stuck in here, and it just stays in here. It sits in here, and if you leave it for months at a time, it kind of gets gummy, and it can't get injected into the motor. So normally, I don't know if I can show you. See, there's a little nut right here on the bottom. You can just undo this nut. If you can, pinch off the gas line or empty it of gas first, but then you take that bowl off, clean it out, any gunk that's in there, and a lot of times right up the middle there's like a, I call it a jet, where the gas gets uptake, you know, and kind of shot into the engine. And if you take a compressor a lot of times and you're careful, you can get it cleaned out, get it whatever gunk's in there out, put the bowl back on, pull it, and you're good to go. I didn't have a compressor at their house, so I had to make do, so I used a bike pump, and I just put the needle of the bike pump in there and shot it a couple times as hard as I could, and it worked. So if you need to do that, try bike pump. Well guys, we are home from my in-laws. You can see beautiful sunset. You can also see our neighbor plowed the driveway, which was really nice while we were gone. So that at least gives us a start to go from with regards to tomorrow, and we're still supposed to get 5 to 8 inches. So I shoveled off the pad here so I can pull the tractor out, but obviously if we're getting 5 to 8 inches, I'm gonna have to do it again. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, click on that thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel a lot. Leave a comment. I love communicating with you guys in the comments. And if you haven't, click on that bell so you don't miss any uploads. Thanks so much. God bless your family. We'll see you guys in the next video.